Muay Thai fighters condition their shins from a young age, mainly from kicking bags, kicking what are called Thai pads, which are just like these, but they're a little bit longer, so the person holding the pads doesn't get destroyed by the kicks. And by kicking each other. And after a while, your shins just don't feel as much pain. But trust me, it hurts really bad to kick someone. Especially if you kick them in the wrong spot. Did anyone see the Anderson Silva fight?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so that's what happens if you kick as hard as you can with a thin part of your shin into the thickest part of someone else, their knee. When my wife comes up and demonstrates, she's going to show some elbows and knees, and those are really the most dangerous weapons in Muay Thai because your bones are the most dense in those spots. So when you attack with an elbow against something like an eyebrow, it's very easy to create a cut. Now, I know this seems extremely brutal, but when you're doing Muay Thai and you get to a more advanced level, it really turns into a game of chess. There are techniques which are very effective against other things, and it's not just who's the strongest fighter or who's the toughest person. It's really about how you're throwing the techniques and timing and strategy. And someone might be extremely strong in a clinch close up, but not as strong with their hands on the outside. So you have to use strategy to beat that person. So that's what really attracted me to the sport. Well, we might as well show off a little bit. Let's give Samantha a hand.
Oh, so that was his one.
For today, Samantha's hands aren't wrapped. Normally, when you train in Muay Thai or you're competing, you put on what are called hand wraps. So whenever you see in movies those guys with the big cloth on the end of their hands, that's so they don't break their hands when they punch somebody. I forgot to say at the beginning, the stuff that you see here, please don't go out there and use it. Oh, I just went to Bryce's Muay Thai channel and learned how to elbow. Here, check this out. Whack! So, please don't go out there and hit anybody. Also, this is a great style for self-defense. Sometimes, like, I would not want to punch somebody in the head because I would break my hand. But with hand wraps on and things that protect your wrist and your knuckles, you can hit somebody like that. When I do hand wraps for fighters, it basically turns their hand into a cast. So there's no way they can damage them. Well, alright, so she doesn't have hand wraps on today because she's pretty tough. Alright, also, you might notice her stance. So let me see your fighting stance. Get it, put your hands up, get it, turn face down. So, Samantha is left-handed. She's the southpaw. So in Muay Thai, you put your power hand behind you. So she's always going to stay in that stance because she's a lefty. Alright, so when she's doing Muay Thai, as I move, she's always going to turn and kind of follow me. So even as we're training, it's always thinking about if she was going to fight. So we'll start with some hands. Actually, I'm going to take this off so you don't hurt me. Alright, let's start with some hands. Jab. 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 Notice she's hitting and she still has her other hand up. Jab cross. Do it again. Again. At hook. She always follows me, stays in that same sense of balance. At across. 4. Good. 5. Again. 5. Good. Weave out. 5. Under. Nice. She's going to take that off. Now let's get her real.
Uh-oh. Shit just got real.
5. One more time. 5. Nice. So, punches like boxing. Now, let's do some kicks. So, we'll start with a front paw kick. Notice she's swinging that arm down. Because as she hits me with this weapon, which is nice and long, she's not open against really anything else. Because that kick is going to come up so fast that will push me off balance before I can touch her with any of my weapons. So again, kick. Good. Ball kick. Good. Front ball kick. Ball kick. Good. Let's do some rounding. So, good. Go to the body. Good. There's multiple targets also. She can kick the leg. Ooh, and she uses that shin. Body. Good. And head. Nice. One more time. Kick the leg. Kick the body. Kick the head. I know, I should have had the tie pad. Normally when you're kicking like this, you have the thicker pads, just to protect the trainer. Yes, they are. Alright, let's show off some elbows now. So we'll go with a horizontal elbow first. She's just going to swing straight across. The target for this one could be behind the ear, the eyebrow, a thin part of my face so she can cause a cut. So horizontal elbow. Good. You notice the other hand is up. It's always offense and defense in one time. Yeah? Ooh. Again. Good. And she hits and she's gone. Strike, and right away she's gone, so I don't hit her with my elbow. Other arm. Good. Again. Vertical elbow. Oh, so that one comes right up under the chin. And you can't see this, but her hands inside the gloves are actually open. And what that does is it exposes the bone on her arm. If you make a fist, you feel the muscle go around your forearm. If you open your hand, it makes it sharper. So she's opening her hand inside the glove as she's elbowing. Ready?
Yeah.
This one. So go horizontal elbow. Vertical elbow. Horizontal elbow. Vertical elbow. Yeah. Horizontal elbow. Vertical elbow. Nice. Okay, let's show off some knees now. So, Muay Thai, a straight knee is probably one of the most dangerous ones. Again. Good. Switch a knee. Good. Knee. Good. Now, she can throw these from about a middle range or from what's called the Thai clinch. Now, the Thai clinch, she grabs, her head, and she has a lot of control here. Okay? If she's going to check my neck, if I don't have good balance to hold myself up, she can pull my head down and finish a fight with one knee. So, let's kind of put that step together. Let's go. Jab, elbow, grab behind my head, knee, push and kick. Balance, balance. Always very important after she does the techniques to be back in balance in case I count. So again, jab, elbow, knee. Nice. Oh, don't turn your back. That's dangerous. Again, jab, elbow, knee, kick. Oh, nice. Again, jab, elbow, knee, kick. Good. Now, I want you to throw a front ball kick in case I counter and come back in. So again, jab, elbow, knee, kick. I come back into counter. Oh, she stops me. Again, jab, elbow, knee, kick. Stop. Nice. Jeez. I should have brought more gear. One more time. Jab, elbow, knee, kick, push. Nice. Show off a little head movement now. So, as I attack her, I'm going to throw a jab. She's going to work on her bobs first. So, bob left, bob right. Bob left, bob right. Good. And as she does this head movement, she's setting up a counter. So, bob left and cross. Bob right. Again. Good. Let's show some weaves. So, weaves are, again, big punches. She's going to draw the letter U with her nose. Counter. Nice. Counter. Good. Again. Kick here. Now I'm going to try to throw her off. Also, if I hit her and she covers, counter. I can get her tired. Yeah. So the second I touch her, she's ready to counter. Kick here. Kick here. Kick here. Good. Do another combo. Go jab, uppercut, hook. Good. Don't turn your back. Gotta be rough with your fighter. Again. Jab, up, hook, kick. Good. Two more times. Make it an uppercut. Again. Jab, up, hook. Bam. One more. Nice. All right, give Samantha a big hand. Woo! So, I've showed you guys a little Muay Thai, and now I just want to open it up to questions. Any questions about martial arts, about Muay Thai, and feel free to ask me anything. I didn't have a general Q&A, so you can ask questions about voice acting or about me also. And yeah, just call them out.
Have you ever thought about doing jiu-jitsu or MMA?
Yes, actually, I train a bit of jiu-jitsu also. I was pretty focused on it last year until I got injured. I just kind of dragged my training partner down and rolled on my shoulder wrong, and my collarbone dislocated. So it's not quite straight anymore on this side. It's just like this. But it kind of comes with the territory. So yeah, I definitely train jiu-jitsu, and I forgot to mention I train some professional MMA fighters, mostly focusing on their Muay Thai. All right, yeah.
When did you decide that you would make the transition from martial arts to Muay Thai?
There wasn't like a specific period of time where I was like, I'm only a martial artist and now I'm only a voice actor. That's one of the great things about being a voice actor is you don't stay on set for months. You go to the studio, you record for a few hours, and then you can go to the gym after. So I've always been both. Yeah.
You said you've done Muay Thai, voice acting and web development. These are like three polar opposites. How did you get into such a fast point of focus in Miami and stuff?
I have a lot of energy. I really don't like to just sit still. I'm always trying to grow and learn new things. And I'm just sort of interested in all of those. They all sort of, are attractive for their own reasons. They all have different challenges, and I like that. So, martial arts I started early. Voice acting I started early. Web design I started in college. And that's been a way to sort of pay the bills if voice acting isn't busy. It's actually a great job for a voice actor because, like I said, you go and record for a few hours, and you can do web design anywhere in the world at any time. So it's been a great combination. Even though they seem very different, they've all sort of worked together very well. Yeah.
Do you still teach along with training in Muay Thai? Like, do you train other people, like have your own facility or anything like that?
I don't have my own gym. I teach at a place that I've been with since I was young called House of Champions, and it's in Van Nuys, California. And yeah, I definitely still teach and still train there. And like I said, I'm not as slick as I used to be. I've been recently very busy with conventions and traveling and having some fun seeing the world. So it's always a balancing act, and I feel like I always find my way back to the gym because that was really my first passion. But yeah, definitely still teach people and train people privately. I had one client, when he started with me, he was about 360 pounds, and he dropped over 100 pounds from training in Muay Thai. It's a real intense workout, and it's a different kind of cardio. There's people who run marathons and will get tired within 3 minutes of Muay Thai, just because it's different muscles that you use and a different kind of conditioning. So I forgot to ask, who here does martial arts? Cool. Who here has trained in Muay Thai? Awesome, good. Great. Martial artists, I would recommend taking Muay Thai classes. It is really great. And with my style, Tong Soo Do, I've sort of blended the kicking of Tong Soo Do and the kicking of Muay Thai together when I spar. And it actually works very well. The balance in Muay Thai lends itself to other martial arts. If you do the kicking right, you always land back in that base stance. So it's very easy to do different styles of kicking and power kicking from Muay Thai. Yeah, back there.
I have two questions.
Sure.
Okay. Say if you're never taking a martial art ever, would you recommend Muay Thai being the first one that you learn?
Yeah, I think it's a great way of starting. Obviously, you're not going to jump in the ring day one. If your instructor is a good instructor, they'll take very good care of you and make sure you're not injured while training. Typically, you'll start in the air, working in the mirror, hitting the bag, working pads like you saw me hold for Samantha, and then you start to move to things like counters, and you wear thick gear, thick shin pads and gloves, mouthpiece, headgear, cup for the guys, of course.
Woo!
And so you won't get hurt. You won't get hurt. It's a great style to start with, and it's really a lot of fun.
Okay, and to easy with how easy is it for you to like break a bone? Like say if you hit someone the wrong way, is it easy for you to like
Well, what bone? Like your
well
shin?
any bone in general?
You'd be surprised how easy it is to hurt yourself. I mean, humans are pretty brittle, and it's years and years of conditioning and learning how to block things the right way and not hurting, little tiny bones in your foot. The reason why all these fighters are using their shin bone is because there are tiny, tiny bones in your foot. And if you kick someone in the elbow, you'll break your foot. So, it's easy, but again, if it's done right, you'll never get hurt. I've been hurt more playing other sports like basketball and just throwing around the football than in Muay Thai. And I've done Muay Thai for years and years. So we'll kind of work our way over. So right there.
You said you were mixing your kicks from Tansudo with your Muay Thai kicks. Does that mean you still train in Tansudo or at least keep up with it?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. It hasn't been my focus recently. Actually, I think it's been a number of years. I should be testing for my 5th degree, but I haven't yet. But yeah, I definitely keep up with it and still train at least what I need for sparring. It's been too long since I've done my forms. Gotta admit that though. Yeah.
When you spar with other people, have you come across a lot of different other martial arts that you've had trouble with fighting as a Thai fighter?
Yeah, there's definitely ones that give you more difficulty than others. The thing is, there's a lot of different styles of Muay Thai also, and I forgot to get into this earlier. A lot of what I showed was Thai fighters from Thailand, and they have a very stiff, strong stance. But there's also fighters from Holland who have a different sort of movement and a different way of kicking. And then there is a whole group of American kickboxers. And some of my instructors were the first Americans to go to Thailand and beat some of the Thai champions. And their style is much, much different from the Thais. It's much more like a boxer. They're on their toes and always moving and attacking with things that are quick and getting out of the way versus, hitting someone with a baseball bat or a leg, which takes a lot longer than quick attacks and points. So there's a lot of different styles, and I've been around it for so long, I've picked up a lot of those styles of kickboxing and Muay Thai. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on the opponent, and you just have to be adaptive. Yeah.
You play some pretty big characters. Which one is your favorite and why?
For voice acting?
Yeah.
I can't pick one character because I love being a voice actor and I love working. So I think all the voices are battling in my head for which one's the favorite. So I would just answer the question with naming off all my characters. Alright, so we'll come back over here. We're going to keep moving this way. Yeah?
How would you go about finding a good trainer?
How would you go about it?
Finding a good trainer.
Well, talking to friends, looking online and reading reviews, and then going in and making a decision for yourself. I think you're with the right trainer when you go in and you leave and you feel fantastic. I mean, that's the thing I feel that Muay Thai has in common with voice acting. For me personally, is when I'm done, I leave with a smile on my face. So I think that's what you should experience with a good trainer. So you have to kind of test the waters and maybe try out multiple people and see who you like best. It's always good to sort of take things from different people, because sometimes they have skills that they excel at. Maybe there's someone who's great at boxing, and then maybe there's someone who's better at Thai kicking. So you want to take the boxing with one guy and the kicking from the other guy and kind of mash them together. So you just gotta experiment. Yeah.
Did you get Sam into Muay Thai, or she into it before?
I got her into it. And, you know, I'll just warn everyone out there who has a significant other that you decide to bring to martial arts with you, they will use it on you. They will use it when you're not expecting it. There have been some cheap shots taken. And she hits hard. I'll just say that. But yeah, I brought her in, and she's excelled extremely fast. She hasn't been training all that long, and to jump in front of the crowd and you know, show off like that is pretty amazing. You gotta give Samantha a good hand, by the way. All right, moving down. Are there any more over here? Yeah, we'll go right ahead.
Oh man, yeah. You mentioned earlier that you worked with some professional fighters. Who was that? Can you say?
Yeah, actually, one of my buddies fought last night on the UFC card. His name's Tony Ferguson.
Really?
I didn't get to watch the fight, but I saw he knocked the guy out in 4 minutes, so did pretty well.
Awesome. Any other big ones that you can think of off the top of your head?
I mean, I don't know if you guys would know Thai fighters or kickboxers, but a friend of mine, Travis Garlitz, fought in K1, and it was awesome. I got to work the corner at K1, which, if you guys don't know, K1 is a huge tournament in Japan. It's like one of their biggest sports there. And usually it's the big giant guys. My fighter is one of the K1 max fighters who fights at 142 pounds. But K1 came to Los Angeles and we got to compete there and fought a extremely talented fighter from China, and it was a close fight. I've worked with another guy from the UFC. His name's Eddie Mendez. And there's a whole array of amateur fighters that I work with in the gym that are competing on the local level now, and hopefully will continue to grow and get bigger exposure. Yeah, moving over right there.
You ever train former Marines who may have had like an app to similar stuff, right? What I know?
I've definitely seen military guys come through the gym. Actually, the studio that I train at is really interesting because it brings in multiple styles. So our military style is called Arjikempo, which is a style that's very similar to Krav Maga, but it was created in Australia. So it's an Australian military style with quick strikes and disarming and things like that. But I've noticed that for striking, yeah, the military would definitely box and do Muay Thai, and I've seen a few guys come through the gym. Yeah. Sure. So the question was, how does it feel to voice the egg? The egg Maggie. So if you guys aren't familiar with that character, he's from Danganronpa, which is an awesome game, and it was really cool to voice Maggie. Voicing that character was like watching a movie, because there were monologues of 80 lines that ran back to back, and I'd never seen them before. I had no idea what was going to happen in these cases, and they would just say, "All right, go for it. Just run the lines," and I would give it a shot. You know, we'd have to go back once in a while, but watching, reading that and imagining, describing all the things, finding clues and all that stuff was pretty cool. And you ready? Let me know when you start. You got that wrong! The point also is important. Alright, yeah, over there.
I might have missed this earlier, but everyone's story is different. How exactly did you get into voice acting?
Oh, sure. So I got into voice acting because of my dad. My dad unfortunately passed away about 8 years ago. But it's really cool for me to kind of carry on the torch and continue to do this. I went to work with my dad one day. He was working on a show called Power Rangers. Yeah, he was Rita Revolto, the skeleton dude. Yeah. So he was like a skeleton with like camo on the helmet. By the way, he had the opposite voice of me. My voice stopped getting deeper when I was in middle school. His voice was super deep and gravelly. Anyways, after his session, the director was like, "Hey, we need a kid's voice." And my dad's like, "He's a kid, throw him in the booth." And that's how I became a voice actor. Yeah. Put together an amazing demo. You wanna really put together something that showcases you, because that's like your business card as a voice actor. And that's gonna help you get an agent, and the agent is gonna help you get auditions. My second piece of advice is don't get discouraged. If it's something you really want to do, if you book 1 out of 100 auditions, you're very successful as a voice actor. So it's a lot of auditioning and having people say no thank you. So good luck. It's a crazy industry. All right, we'll start working our way back. So yeah.
She wants to know what your favorite voice is doing.
My favorite voice?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many that I like. I mean, I like saying, "I'm gonna beat the shit out of Satan!" Yeah. That was awesome. What was that from? That's from Blue Exorcist. You haven't seen it.
You're a faggot who doesn't know that.
That's definitely worth a watch. It's on Toonami also. I think it's about 15 episodes in right now.
It's on Netflix too.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Awesome. Netflix and Hulu. Probably not dubbed, but it's still awesome.
Netflix, I think,
Japanese,
is a dub.
It's amazing. Okay, keep moving over. One more?
Can you do one more time? She doesn't have
Okay, you ready?
No. Yes.
Well, if
Put on the entire room.
I've been ready.
I gotta get myself into this. I get angry.
Body ready.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of Satan! Alright, we'll keep moving over. Yeah.
Was there a character that you auditioned for, didn't know who it was, and then when you found out, you were like, "Oh my god, this is awesome, I'm excited to play this character"?
Yeah, when I worked on Final Fantasy Dissidia,
Zidane!
I had no idea what I was working on because they were using a code name, and I grew up playing Final Fantasy. So I was like fanboying in the studio. Alright, any over there? I think I saw one in the back. Done? Maybe? Yeah.
Bryce, will you just bite your thumb for me real quick? I just want to check something.
Okay, let's try this out. I have to do it harder, man. By the way, without spoiling anything, because Samantha hasn't watched the show yet. She's waiting to watch it in English. Without spoiling anything, when I recorded that, I actually bit my thumb. And I left bruises on my hand from
fighting my hand so long.
Yeah.
Sweet.
To get into the characters, I know there were some fight scenes in Blue Exorcist where monsters are standing on Lynn's neck, so I choked myself a little bit. It sounds great, but I choked myself. Alright, we'll go again into yeah.
I don't know, during the self-damaging take, people helping you record be like, okay, let's just do one take of that, then I'll see it again, or they're like, let's do a lot of takes and then we'll do it.
I don't think they know what I'm doing.